All right, so today we're diving into the very beginning of a modern Gothic story. It kicks off with five completely different people whose lives are, well, about to end. We're setting the scene in the grit and grime of New Jersey, and we're going to walk through their final moments as humans before they get yanked into a dark, secret world that's been hiding in the shadows all along.
Right off the bat, the story just paints this bleak picture of a state that's falling apart. A place where everything good seems to wither and die. It's all about that weathered concrete in those rotted-out towns. This setting isn't just a backdrop. It's practically a character in its own right, and it's not a friendly one.
And that really is the central question, isn't it? What happens when you take five people and instead of letting them die, you rebirth them right in the middle of all this decay? We're about to see their last few breaths of humanity, followed by a pretty violent rebirth into something else, something ancient, something hungry, and something that belongs to the night.
But hang on, before we meet our five main characters, we need to get a key term down: coterie. Think of it like this. In this world, a coterie is the closest thing a vampire gets to a family or a crew. It's this small group, and they're bonded together, usually for protection. Because let's face it, they're going to need it. It's a bond that's forged in darkness, often just out of pure necessity.
Okay, let's get into it. The story starts by jumping between the final nights of these five totally different people. Each one is standing on the edge of something that's about to change and end their life. These are their very last hours as regular people.
First up, we've got Lila Darwich. She's this super sharp, ruthless lawyer. And tonight's a big deal. She just won this impossible case for a huge tech company. Oh, and that clan you see there? Just think of them as different vampire bloodlines. Each one comes with its own unique powers and, its own special curse.
So Lila's at this victory party and her senior partner pulls her aside. He's talking about a full partnership, leads her to what he says is her new office. But once that door closes, her reward for winning the biggest case of her life turns out to be a vampire's bite. Some bonus, huh?
Next, we meet Arthur Fisher. He's a vet from Afghanistan, totally disillusioned with the world. He's haunted by his past, he's flat broke, and he's just looking for a bare-knuckle fight to scrape together some cash. Honestly, for him, violence is pretty much the only thing that makes sense anymore. He finds a fight at this illegal ring out on some old farm, and Arthur, against all odds, he wins. It's a brutal victory, but when the promoter leads him to a shed to, quote, get his winnings, there's no cash waiting. Instead, Arthur gets ambushed and he's brutally transformed.
Then you've got Deacon Hunt. He's a lieutenant in the mob, but he's one of the good guys, trying to keep things stable after a bloody gang war. Tonight, he's walking into what he thinks is just a simple drug deal. A necessary evil to keep the peace. Of course, the deal's a setup. Masked figures attack, and they're doing things that are just not humanly possible. After this insane chase, Deacon's boss reveals that there's a whole other side to the family business, and he gives Deacon a choice: die right here or get a promotion into the real inner circle. Meanwhile, you've got Ember Donovan. She's only 18, a total singing prodigy, and she is right on the edge of becoming a huge star. It's the last show of her tour, but honestly, her head is just filled with drama with her boyfriend. After the gig, her manager sets up this meeting with a super rich, influential fan. She goes to a private booth, meets this reclusive guy, Marcus Wernick. But the whole thing is a trap. While he's telling her how amazing her talent is, his assistant just lunges at her. The sound of the crowd cheering is literally the last thing Ember hears as a human. And finally, there's Marcus Lee Orloff. He's a young, successful tech CTO. But Marcus has been living a secret life. For the past 5 years, he's been a ghoul. And in this world, that's a human servant who's magically bonded to a vampire master through their blood. So for Marcus, his last night as a human isn't some violent, random attack. Not at all. It's the end of 5 long years of service. His master finally decides he's proven his loyalty. His transformation isn't a curse. For him, it's the reward he's been working towards this whole time. And this is where everything shifts. You have 4 people who've been violently kidnapped, 1 who's been strategically promoted, and now all 5 of their separate stories are about to smash together into one single horrifying experience. Their individual hells are over. Their shared one is just getting started.
They all wake up in absolute darkness. Each one is trapped inside a solid steel box. Their memories are foggy,
pretty much gone, and replaced by this single, agonizing feeling: hunger. And it's not for food, it's this deep, primal craving that's driving them absolutely insane.
Then bam, the boxes spring open. They're drawn out by this intoxicating smell, and they burst into a makeshift arena. And down on the floor below them is the source of that smell: 4 terrified, bleeding people. For these newborns, the sound of that blood pumping is just an overwhelming siren's call they can't ignore.
So you see what's happening. This whole rebirth is designed to be as traumatic as possible. They're trapped, then they're unleashed, they're tempted, and then they just completely lose control. This primal instinct, it's called the frenzy, just takes over and drives them to their first monstrous feeding.
After the chaos and the blood finally settles, 2 figures walk into the arena to explain just what the hell happened. Our new vampires are about to get a crash course in the rules of the world they've been so violently thrown into.
A vampire named Alessandra Weiss gives them this chilling speech. She calls them kindred. That's what these creatures call themselves, and she completely reframes the whole biblical curse of Cain. To her, it's not a punishment, it's a dark gift. She's telling them they aren't cursed, they've been chosen.
After her sermon, Marcus's old master lays down the law. There are 5 huge rules they have to live by now. The masquerade is number 1, the big one. You hide what you are from humans no matter what. The others are all about territory, who you can and can't create, not killing each other, and respecting your elders. It's basically the constitution for their new secret society.
So, the rules are set. Their orientation is complete. They're hooded, thrown in a van, and driven right back into the world they thought they'd left behind. A world that, hasn't stopped for them. They get dropped off and their phones are handed back. And immediately, it's just this flood of messages from the lives they can't have anymore. Arthur's got a reminder to visit his daughter. Amber's bandmate is asking about the weird old guy she left with. Deacon gets a gut-wrenching email about an innocent person hurt in his old life. Their past is already banging on the door.
So, they've been given this monstrous new life and a list of ironclad rules. They are now a coterie, bound together by this insane, shared trauma. But the world they knew? It's still out there, with all its loose ends and all its dangers. The real question is, can they actually navigate this new, long night without being destroyed by it? Or by the ghosts of the lives they left behind?